shoes in the wrestling wing. As a match is about to start, the contenders enter the ring dancing to traditional music. Then the wrestling begins. The number of fighting Cholitas of Bolivia has gradually dwindled over the time to just 7. There's only 7 now. And now the most famous of the Cholitas, Reina Torres, is training a new team of wrestlers aged 16 to 19 in hopes of keeping the sport alive. Now, here's another thing that I didn't know was a thing.
What?
That's the fighting Cholitas of Bolivia. Look at that.
Oh, my gosh. That is...
Where do we find these things?
Why don't we ask your brother?
All right. That's our time. Oh, it's like a newsroom meeting there. That's our time now. Newsroom 5 starts right now. Right now at 5, student pickup problems at Oregon schools. Find out why police are now getting involved.
How the Rock County Sheriff's Office is improving security after a teen escaped from an interview room.
Plus, changes are coming for the Wisconsin Badger football team as their 3-year starting quarterback announces he is leaving the program.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3. The Oregon Police Department has taken to social media, calling out parents who are driving illegally during school pickup. 2
schools are especially congested. Keely Arthur joins us live at one of those schools with the details. Keely?
Well, we are outside of Rome Corners Intermediate School in Oregon, and it's quiet right now, but just about 2 hours ago, parents were parked along this side of the road. There's actually signage saying you're not allowed to park here, but it was bumper to bumper just as school got out around 3 p.m. Now, police at Oregon Police Department are taking to social media, posting photos of a car blocking a crosswalk, writing, quote, "It's not only illegal, but leads to safety issues." Parents are equally concerned. We spoke to a number of them wanting to pick up their students. They say the district really isn't doing much to fix this issue.
You can never find a place to park. There's nowhere to drive half the time. Like, you can't tell where the road is, where everybody's sitting. People stop and pick up their kids in the road sometimes. Like, I don't know, it's kind of crazy.
The Oregon School District is aware of the issue, and they're trying to do what they can. Superintendent Brian Bussler tells us, in part in a statement, we provide parents with maps and safety tips for dropping off and picking up their children from school. We've also added staff during these times to help keep traffic moving. Now, Rome Corners isn't the only school with this issue. Oregon Middle School is also very congested during pickup and drop-off times, and everybody knows that this doesn't just happen in this district. In fact, Mount Horeb passed a referendum about 2 years ago to help with their issue over at their high school. They actually expanded the drop-off and pickup sites and added an additional parking lot. Back to you.
Keely Arthur reporting for us tonight. Keely, thank you.
All right, let's get a look at your first alert weather now. You know, it's still chilly out there, but as we always say, it feels better when the sun is out, Gary.
That's true. The problem is, though, the sun is going down, so about another hour it's going to get dark and those temperatures are going to drop off pretty rapidly. Visible cloud track shows the clouds that brought us some flurries and light snow early this morning, along with some freezing drizzle heading off to the east. Now just see the snow cover on the ground across much of southern Wisconsin, and that is, at least for the time being, going to keep us snow free. To the west or to the east, you can see the morning snow heading out over Lake Michigan, but right now southern Wisconsin pretty much free of precipitation. Low temperatures this morning held up a bit because of the cloud cover. Here in Madison, we dropped to 11. To our north and west, a few places were in the single digits. It was near 20 near Lake Michigan. High temperatures so far today, upper teens to around 20 degrees. Here in Madison, we've dropped back to 18 degrees this hour. And we have some snow on the way for Friday afternoon into Friday night. Perhaps another 1 to 3 inch snowfall across much of southern Wisconsin. A little heavier amounts out toward the La Crosse area. But in our day planner, look for those temperatures to drop to around 0 by early tomorrow morning. The good news is there won't be much of a breeze, so there won't be much of a wind chill either. Tomorrow, look for maybe a couple of flurries in the afternoon. Otherwise, our high temperature at 22. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. One man was killed, another seriously injured in a crash. It happened in the town of Westport this morning. The Dane County Sheriff's Office said
Deputies responded to 926 to a report of a crash on County Road M at Borchers Beach Road. A Jeep heading east on M when the driver hit a patch of ice and lost control. That Jeep first hit a minivan, which then crossed the center line and was hit by a car. The 54-year-old man driving the Jeep was pronounced dead at the scene. The Camry driver, an 85-year-old Madison man, suffered serious injuries, was taken to a local hospital. The minivan driver had only minor injuries and was not transported for treatment. A Janesville elementary school teacher who police say they found passed out in a vehicle over the weekend is now facing his 4th drunk driving charge. 50-year-old Dennis Brunner was arrested Saturday. According to officers, while they were waiting to conduct field sobriety tests, Brunner became aggressive and resisted officers when he was told he had to stay outside. While Brunner was being taken to the jail, Brunner said he knows, quote, a lot of biker guys, and there was going to be a bounty put on the head of the arresting officer. Brunner is facing multiple charges, including 4th offense OWI. Janesville School District officials told News 3 now that he was placed on paid leave Tuesday after being released from jail on Monday.
The Beloit Police Department is looking for a woman who they say stole merchandise from a grocery store. On Thursday afternoon, a woman carrying a baby carrier car seat walked into the Woodmans on Madison Road and put several items inside the seat. Without purchasing the items, she walked out of the store and got into a dark van. Anyone with information about this person is asked to call the Greater Beloit Area Crime Stoppers.
A Madison family of 5 and their dog escaped an early morning fire through a second-story window into their garage. Firefighters were called just before 5 a.m. to the 2600 block of Fraser Avenue after the family awoke to their smoke alarm going off. The family gathered their dog, called 911 as they escaped. Firefighters say the home was filled with smoke when crews arrived. They did find a broken water line in the basement, which actually kept the fire in the basement and first floor. The cause of the fire still under investigation. The damage totals not yet known, but the family is currently displaced from that home. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says it has made efforts to improve security after a teen escaped from an interview room in October.
Today, video was released of that moment. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter spoke with the captain in the department about what that day was like, and he joins us now from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette. Hi, Adam.
Well, Eric and Charlotte, back in October, police arrested Quantrell Schwartzlow for child pornography and sexual assault charges. And when they did arrest him, they brought him back into an interview room where he did this, first opening up the window, then diving out head first, a 12-foot drop. Then he ran, and he was out for a few hours before police found him at a friend's house in Janesville. Captain Todd Christensen says today these rooms have new screens.
The security screens now are stainless steel. They allow air to flow through, and they are securely bolted to the building. They're not just inside the frame of the actual window. They're actually secured with some pretty solid bolts.
Christensen says the interview rooms were never designed for their purpose and that the sheriff's office itself is over 100 years old and was first designed as a hospital. But he said that these new metal screens will hopefully prevent something like this from happening again, and adds that he is happy that they were able to get Schwartzlow back into custody so quickly that day.
Adam Duxter reporting tonight. Adam, thank you.
Governor Tony Evers will propose indefinitely delaying the closure of the state's troubled juvenile prison. Governor Evers' juvenile justice plans were to be included in his state budget proposal to be released tomorrow. He campaigned on raising the age for charging juveniles. Wisconsin, one of just 6 states that treat 17-year-olds as adults, and raising the age splits Republicans who control the legislature. Governor Evers says more time and nearly $200 million in spending is needed to build replacement facilities. Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes says they want to be thoughtful on the next step.
There are a lot of moving parts with Lincoln Hills, making sure that we're being intentional, not just rushing this process. We want to be sure that we're not creating a worse situation than already exists.
Republicans have also been hesitant to delay closing Lincoln Hills beyond the current 2021 deadline.
Sun Prairie officials are taking a step to try and prevent bullying throughout the city.
They're proposing an anti-bullying ordinance because multiple parents have complained that bullies are targeting their children. Rose Schmidt joins us to explain what this proposal does. Rose?
Well, it would allow police officers in Sun Prairie to issue citations if there's a form of bullying. It applies to any harassment that's physical, verbal, or even done electronically. A number of parents from Sun Prairie have said that they want to hold other parents accountable if their children bully other children. Alder Maureen Crombie proposed this ordinance, modeling it after one Monona enacted 6 years ago. She explained that the school district cannot be expected to crack down on bullying that happens after school, and this proposal would add more oversight throughout the city.
There's only 3 cities in the state of Wisconsin that has this ordinance. To me, it's just an opportunity. It's another tool in the toolbox so that we can be a community that does not tolerate people that are bullies.
A spokesperson for the Sun Prairie Area School District says administrators haven't taken a stance on the ordinance yet, but there are many district programs in place to prevent bullying. There are some concerns that this ordinance would be redundant, though, because much of the harassment it's trying to prevent is already covered by state law. The proposal will be brought up in the Youth and Family Commission next Thursday, and Crombie says city officials may consider changing some of the language. We'll hear from a mom who says her daughter was bullied on News 3 Now at 6.
All right, Rose, thank you.
A new partnership between the Mount Horeb Area School District and the Mount Horeb Mental Health and Wellness Coalition aims to improve mental health care access for students. A new program called the Plaid Umbrella Project will try to expand understanding and provide ways to improve mental wellness. Last summer, 2 young people in Mount Horeb died by suicide, and a 10-year-old was also investigated as a possible suicide. Officials said the project's logo is symbolic of its mission.
We see the umbrella as a sign of protection and ultimately a sign of compassion. And so we want folks to know that they can come underneath that umbrella with us and they'll find compassion.
The green stripes represent those who live with mental illness, while the blue and orange stripes symbolize support from the school district and the coalition. The project is trying to attain goals put in place at a community forum last August.
A special day at Madison Memorial High School as the students welcome an impressive group of visitors to celebrate the final days of Black History Month. The Madison Memorial Black Student Union created a History in Our Eyes Black Excellence panel, and that included black leaders from all around the state, including the state's first African-American Lieutenant Governor, Mandela Barnes, Carolyn Stanford Taylor, the first black woman to serve as state superintendent of schools, and Sheila Stubbs, the first African-American to represent Madison in the state assembly. The Badgers will have a different quarterback under center entering the 2019 season. Alex Hornibrook has announced he will be leaving the program and he will enter the NCAA transfer portal. The Badgers, as their quarterback, Hornibrook went 26-6 in 3 seasons as the starter. His winning percentage, the best in program history. So Chase Wolf, Danny Vandenmoon, Jack Cohn, Nate Carter, and heralded freshman Graham Mertz will all battle to become the starting quarterback this fall. The Badgers will open spring practice, by the way, on March 26th.
A terminally ill Wisconsin 7-year-old is asking for letters from dogs to comfort her. According to a GoFundMe page, Emma Mertens of Heartland is fighting a very rare and inoperable brain tumor. The page has raised more than $82,000. The family is asking for financial support, but they're also asking for help in comforting Emma, which they are hoping comes in the form of letters from dogs. A flyer that has been making the rounds on social media says, "Attention dog parents. Emma Mertens is a 7-year-old little girl who is terminally ill and wants comfort in the form of letters from dogs. Anyone can send a letter from their dog, either written or in email form, with photos or videos attached to Emma Mertens." And we have her email address and postal address on our website.
2 Madison area chefs have received one of the top honors in the culinary world. Tori Miller and Johnny Hunter are 2019 James Beard Award semifinalists. Miller of L'Etoile was named semifinalist in the Outstanding Chef category. Miller and L'Etoile have been nominated numerous times. Hunter of Four Quarter received a 2019 James Beard Award nod for Best Chef Midwest. This is his 5th consecutive ranking, and you can read more about their honors at our website, channel3000.com. More to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, President Trump's former attorney testifies against the president. We'll tell you the claims made by Michael Cohen.
And the Vietnam summit is now underway. We'll tell you how the first round of talks went between President Trump and North Korea's Kim Jong-un.
Wall Street on this Wednesday, mixed numbers. The Dow off 73, the NASDAQ up 5, the S&P down 1.5 points. We'll be right back. President Trump's former personal attorney delivered public testimony to lawmakers today on Capitol Hill.
Testifying under oath, Michael Cohen said President Trump reimbursed him for payments to cover up an affair with a porn star. He said during the presidential campaign, Trump knew ahead of time about WikiLeaks releasing damaging emails about Hillary Clinton. And he alleged Mr. Trump knew of and directed plans for a Trump Tower in Moscow throughout his 2016 campaign and lied about it.
I am ashamed because I know what Mr. Trump is. He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
President Trump weighed in on Twitter, saying Cohen is lying to reduce his prison time. Cohen reports to prison in May to serve a 3-year sentence for lying to Congress in the past.
President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un began their second summit today. The United States wants peace on the Korean Peninsula and the dismantling of the North Korean nuclear weapons program. The North Koreans want sanctions relief and more economic opportunities. During their exchanges, Kim Jong-un praised the president for having the political courage to hold the summit and expressed hope for a successful outcome. Some experts believe progress is possible on several specific issues.
We're hoping that there will be more progress on 3 different fronts. One, on building a different relationship between the U.S. and North Korea. Another is working on a so-called peace process, or the development of peace in the region. And the third will be on the denuclearization front.
The U.S. and North Korea signed a joint statement after the first summit calling for complete denuclearization. But critics argue no concrete steps were laid out. Some of those steps experts would like to see include access to North Korea's uranium enrichment sites. But President Trump has urged patience as he negotiates with North Korea. All right, let's get a look at your first alert weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with your forecast. Gary?
Well, it's cold out there, but at least it's not snowing. We had some snow and even some freezing drizzle this morning, last night. Made roads slick in some areas, but now you can see on Doppler track the last of the flurries exiting far eastern Wisconsin. Skies are generally pretty sunny across the rest of the state, and you don't see any snow out to the west. So for the time being, things will be pretty quiet. We could see a couple of flurries as we head into later tomorrow afternoon, but that shouldn't amount to very much. A little stronger storm system in the Friday afternoon, Friday night time frame will probably bring about a 1 to 3 inch snowfall through much of southern Wisconsin. Could be some slightly heavier amounts of about 2 to 5 inches from west central Wisconsin back westward into parts of southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. But this storm system now looks like it'll be coming together as it passes to the east of southern Wisconsin. So the heavier snow totals eventually will start developing further toward New England as the storm comes together. But as that storm intensifies off to our east, our winds will be shifting to the north, and it'll bring down bitterly cold Arctic air. In fact, probably some of the coldest air that we've seen in the beginning of March in several years. So we're looking for low temperatures between 5 and 10 below zero for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday morning. We have alert days in a place for all of those days. Daytime high temperatures will stay near or it's slightly below 10 degrees with wind chills below zero during the day. And especially Monday and Tuesday morning, record low temperatures could be in jeopardy. Now, as we take a look at the live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam at Platteville, you see the sky is clearing out very nicely as we head into the hours before sunset. That's the WISC Skycam looking off toward the west. Bright sunshine there, not much in the way of cloud cover. The Edgewater Skycam looking back toward the east shows partly sunny skies over the capital. As we check out the almanac for today, high temperature made it up to 19. Low temperature this morning, a little bit warmer at 11. That was because of the cloud cover. We're at 18 now with partly sunny skies. Winds out of the northwest at 10 miles per hour. Drop our wind chill to 6 degrees. The good news is tonight, so as temperatures drop off as the skies clear out to the west of us, at least that'll keep our wind chills from being too cold. But again, some cloud cover already developing out to the west of us. That'll bring us a few snow flurries as we head into Thursday. And then the stronger storm system eventually will take place as these two low pressure systems combine and then track to the south. But again, I think most of the intensification from that storm will happen farther to the east. That's where the bigger temperature contrast is already. Temperatures into the near 60 as far north as Cincinnati, while most of the Midwest seeing temperatures in the single digits and teens. So the logical place for that storm to intensify will be farther to the east. And you can see this on the future track computer model. Clouds moving in for tomorrow, maybe a couple of flurries in the afternoon. Shouldn't be much more than that. We'll clear out for tomorrow night, allowing temperatures in the single digits. The stronger storm system starts to move some snow in here for Friday afternoon into Friday night. But again, as it heads off to the east, that's where the stronger intensification will start to take place. And then in this next weather system on Saturday should stay to our south. So we're just going to turn cold with temperatures well below normal into the early part of next week. So our forecast calls for a low temperature of around 0 for tonight, partly cloudy skies, but with light winds. Wind chill shouldn't be much of a factor. For tomorrow, look for mostly cloudy skies, maybe a few flurries in the afternoon with a high temperature of 22. On future track, you can see those temperatures tumbling to around 0 by early tomorrow morning. Some clouds tomorrow, maybe a couple of flurries in the afternoon. High temperatures lower 20s. Tomorrow night will turn partly cloudy, temperatures back in the single digits. And then on Friday, the clouds and light snow move in the afternoon. High temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. About 1 to 3 inches of snow Friday afternoon into Friday night. That should be over with by early on Saturday morning. 10-day forecast, though, those temperatures very cold, bitterly cold. Lows near -10 for Sunday night and Monday night. Daytime highs only in the single digits. Maybe a weather system toward next weekend that could bring some light snow or light freezing rain. As we take a look at first alert traffic, we see some delays right now on the Beltline. I was taking a look at the DOT camera on the Beltline at Park Street, and you can see traffic moving pretty slowly in both directions. On the westbound side, it's because you're actually driving into the sun, which is kind of unusual the way things have gone this month. Right now, delays both ways on the Beltline between about Todd Drive going back westward or eastward to near West Broadway and Southtown Drive. Right now, it looks like about 23 minutes on the commute in the eastbound direction, 25 minutes westbound on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. Heading out of Madison down to Janesville, 27 minutes on I-3990 from the Beltline southward, 12 on US 12, 17 minutes to Sauk City, and 18 minutes out to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your News 3 Now for slow traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, new research shows that drivers are spending more time behind the wheel. We'll tell you why after a short break. If it feels like your daily commute is taking longer these days, that's because it is.
On average, Americans are spending 51 minutes a day behind the wheel. Chris Martinez has the results of a new study.
Malia Cowley commutes every day in Los Angeles, where it often takes a long time to go a short distance.
11 miles, about 11 miles.
And that takes
40 to 45 minutes. And sometimes an hour, 50 to an hour, depending on a day.
Malia is one of millions of people across the country facing longer drive times. New research from AAA reveals Americans are spending an extra 20 minutes driving each week compared to 5 years ago.
When you add it all up across the driving public, that's about 70 billion hours behind the wheel over the course of a year.
AAA's Tamra Johnson says a number of factors are slowing things down on the road. The strong economy has more people buying cars, and with lower gas prices, they're driving more. All that leads to more congestion.
Maybe it's even actually adjusting your commute time, so you're actually traveling a little earlier in the morning, try to avoid some of that congestion.
Malia's strategy for getting to her destination? Patience and the radio.
In the morning, sports radio. At night, I want to relax, so music, mostly 80s.
It's perhaps the only antidote to a frustrating, sluggish drive. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
AAA says drivers in the West spend the most time driving at nearly an hour a day, followed by drivers in the Northeast who are on the road about 51 minutes daily.
And we'll have another check of your forecast when we return in just a moment.
Here's a look at some of the stories we are working on tonight. The president's former fixer makes harsh accusations before Congress. We're going to examine the legal implications. Two leaders go one-on-one again tonight. We'll talk about exactly what the U.S. is looking for. And a group of more than 50 veterans returns to Vietnamese soil for the first time in 5 decades. On tonight's CBS Evening News.
Gary's here with the final check of your forecast.
Yeah, things have actually cleared out pretty nicely across southern Wisconsin. Just a couple of flurries in the eastern portion of the state. Those are moving out. Temperatures right now in the mid to upper teens, but they will drop through the single digits pretty quickly this evening. Friday afternoon into Friday night, maybe about a 1 to 3 inch snowfall, and then breezy and much colder. Alert days in the forecast Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday for overnight low temperatures down to around 10 below zero and wind chills at 25 to 30 below. Highs only in the single digits, and maybe a little warm up toward the end of next week.
All right, Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us. We're back in 30 minutes with more updates. The CBS Evening News is next.